Scanning for audio.
Welcome to a Tin Dog podcast. I'm not reviewing anything this time. I just wanted to share a few thoughts, and I hope you don't mind. The War Between the Land and the Sea, which is a very long title if you think about it. Normally you get something and something, or just one word, or something like that. But the War Between the Land and the Sea is coming at some point. I'm guessing next year. I don't even know if it'll happen before the next season of Doctor Who. But let's look at it. Originally, we thought that it was going to be a Sea Devils story, which makes sense. It's going to be a full-out war between the land and the Sea Devils are turning up, and eventually they'll all be resettled, rehomed, or they'll try and take over us, and we'll end up with a reset in time, or they'll find something. Yep, we get it. This is what you do with the Sea Devils. You're fairly limited. They were here first. They'd quite like their planet back. And, like the Silurians and some of the stories, all they really need to do is wait for us to kill ourselves or warm the planet up for them. Or are we warming the planet up for them in the first place because of their intervention? Oh, I'm dangerously stepping into David Icke territory. No, what I am talking about is that's what we were expecting. And then in 73 Yards, it was discussed that the war between the land and the sea was actually a metaphor for the place between worlds. Yeah. Now, here's the thing. You know that I absolutely love the spooky Torchwoods. So why do I not like exactly the same storylines taking place in Doctor Who? Well, it's mainly because the Doctor usually turns up and saves the day. Nothing is permanent in those stories. In Torchwood, they are permanent, disturbingly so. And that's alright when it comes to Torchwood. Audio Torchwood is the closest you'll get to 73 Yards, and if you like that sort of thing, you really will like this sort of thing. So is that what we're getting? We're actually getting something that's more akin to the dark, foreboding, twisted worlds of what has become Big Finish, Torchwood. Things that are spooky, things that are between the worlds. So perhaps we're not quite done with the strange monsters and ghosts and ghoulies and villains, and it seems to be something that we're dealing with more and more, was much more than a throwaway remark. Yes, we'll have to avoid it becoming Ghostbusters, but do we really have to avoid it that much? So it won't be Torchwood, it won't be Unit, but it might be something much more spooky than we were expecting. You know what? I don't really have a problem with that, because it won't be Doctor Who, which means it can be something so much better. And with that, I'll let you to ponder. Until next time, be seeing you.
That was the Tin Dog Podcast. Available on Spotify, iTunes, Acast, Stitcher and wherever good podcasts are found. Get early access to content by subscribing to the Tin Dog Podcast YouTube channel. You can support the show at patreon.com/tindog. Contact the show on Twitter at tindogpodcast or email tin-dog@hotmail.co.uk. All of the things discussed are the intellectual property of others. No infringement is intended. The Tin Dog Podcast is a founder member of the Doctor Who Podcast Alliance.